Hello, seniors. My name is Carrie Gardy. I'm the director of the Career Development Center here at Kutztown University, and this presentation is specifically for you to talk about job search strategies and help you find success after KU. We're going to talk just a brief moment about internships, even though you are seniors and might be graduating any moment or have already graduated. We do like to share that an internship may not be off the table. Sometimes our seniors do a post-graduation internship and do that for 2, 3 months. It actually helps them figure out what they want to do, make them more marketable, get a strong reference, and of course, sometimes land full-time opportunities out of that. Just one slide on internships to let you know that it might be something to look into, particularly if you're having a challenge getting your foot in the door for a full-time professional position. Maybe you don't have a lot of related experience, and again, still are trying to figure out what direction you want to go in. So let's talk about job search and internship search strategies. Some things to keep in mind. It is your own sales and marketing campaign. So you need to think about it that way when you're approaching your job search. You're the product, so it's important that you know all your features, values, and benefits that you can offer the employer. The third bullet there says, highlight your value proposition to the decision makers. That's critical. Too many people approach a prospective employer, hire me because I'm really excited about this and I want to learn and grow. And while that might be true, the message, the marketing campaign you're sending is, hire me because I can help you. Detail how you can solve their problems, meet their goals, how there's a good alignment between what you are indeed interested in and excited to begin with. But it's again about how you are going to help them, not primarily how they are going to help you, as they would more so in an internship than a full-time job. So this slide, what to consider when looking for a job, is that let's take a step back and before we move forward and really reflect on this time in your life and what you want to pursue going forward. What are you interested in? Why are you interested in that? Why did you choose that major, that concentration, that minor? What about that specifically interested you? And again, why? What are your skills and abilities? They are looking at seniors who have the same major at other universities or perhaps even here at KU. So what, in addition to the education you've gained here at KU, what skills and abilities can you offer to them? Employers want skills. So think about the things that you have gained, the skills you have gained from even, those part-time, and I say it in quotes, cheesy jobs or a full-time position, and how you can transfer those into the position, the industry that you're going to pursue next. We gain a lot of skills throughout all areas of our lives, and many, if not all of them, are transferable and can be applied elsewhere. Values, what's important to you? What type of work environment? And this goes into personal preferences, but do you want to work with a large organization, a smaller organization? Do you want a position that's more team oriented? Are you better working more independently? Do you want to have a job where you have a lot of variety and you walk in every day or log in every day and you're not sure what's expected of you? You like that. Or are you very planful and you want to know what's expected of you and have established deadlines? Do you want to travel? Do you not want to travel? Geographic location and relocating. This is a time when we encourage students to really say, hey, just because perhaps I grew up in this area, that doesn't mean I have to stay here. The broader your geographic range, like, hey, I could work here, the better your chance of success, right? Broader range, more employers, more opportunities. So I like to always say, if ever there's a time to pick up and go, it is at this stage in your life. And I don't want to make assumptions of anyone. You're all unique, different people who have financial obligations and limitations and family and all of that. But now's the time to say, hey, maybe I will look at this opportunity somewhere else, and relocate and try something different. I want to remind you that you are likely not going to stay in this position for a very long time. How long? It depends. 2 years, 5 years. So it's not a place that you would need to stay, forever for 40 plus years of work. So again, this slide is just to get you thinking about, okay, what am I looking for? What are my preferences? How can I promote myself? What are some opportunities that are out there that I should really take a look at for me in my future? Don't put the pressure on yourself. What am I going to do for 40 plus years? No one should put that on themselves. What you want to ask yourself is, what do I want to do initially for the first 0 to 5 years? What do I want to learn, do? How do I want to grow? How do I want to increase my network? Where do I want to get started? And by doing what? That's all you have to ask yourself at this point. So let's talk about the importance of this marketing and sales campaign. There's a lot that you can continue to do the Monday after graduation, a year after graduation, before graduation, to really learn about what's out there and learn about yourself. And as the slide says, to make yourself marketable. One thing that we promote in the Career Center all the time is informational interviewing. You might have done this already and not known it was called that, but informational interviewing is interviewing someone for information. You're not having an interview for an internship or a job. You're having a career conversation with a professional, and hopefully more than one, in a field that you're interested in, asking them, well, what's it really like to be in that role in 2025? What do you like about your job? What's challenging? How has it changed over the past several years that you've been in this role? What are the things that I should really pay attention to in promoting myself? What are the areas that you have a hard time finding people who have this skill set or knowledge base that I could focus on? When your company or organization hires, what do they look for? These are great questions to ask a professional with no pressure of needing to land an internship or a job. So we encourage you to identify professionals who are in the field you're interested in, send them an email, attach your resume, or put a link to your LinkedIn account in the email in case they don't want to open up an attachment. And you could say, hello, I'm reaching out to you because I'm a senior, I'm a recent graduate, and I'm really looking into this industry or this career path. And I'd love 20 minutes of your time. I'd love to use these words, your advice, your insight. And you could say, we could talk over the phone. I can send you a Zoom link. We can talk over Teams. But I'd love to get your advice or insight as I begin in this career path. I'd love to ask you a few questions. People are usually pretty cool with getting back to you. And they say, oh, I can give advice, or like, wow, what would I talk about? What do I like about my job? Why am I doing what I'm doing? And it is so valuable. And then when you have this conversation, don't forget to send a thank you email. But before you disconnect from this person, always try to get another name. So you could say, oh, this, Ms. Gardy, this was so helpful. I learned so much. Could you put me in touch or give me the name and the email of somebody else who does something similar to you, or maybe a little bit differently based on what you talked about? And then, you have this informational interview with me, and I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. I'll send you the name of this person. They would definitely get back to you. Use my name. Let them know you got their name from me. And then you reach out and you have a conversation with that person. Also, if you have LinkedIn, I hope you do, you can jump on LinkedIn, see if they are on it, and connect with them. And again, send that thank you email. Why is this valuable? Obviously, you learn a lot about what it's like to be in the field from this one person's perspective, which is why you should talk to a few people. Maybe the next week I get an email or an announcement somewhere about a position that just opened up, and I'll be like, oh, I talked to that nice student from Kutztown University last week. I should forward this to them. You just never know how that might help you. And again, knowledge is power. The more you know about yourself, the more you know about industries, companies, and the world of work, the better decision you're going to make. CandidCareer.com is a website we subscribe to. I encourage you to go to that. And it's actually just like a YouTube channel for careers. So it's pre-recorded informational interviews. So you could type in job titles like market research analyst, and you can watch some videos of people, current people who are market research analysts and what they like about their job, and all of that. Then you could also kick it up a notch. I'm on the middle block here. If it makes sense, if they're fairly close to you, if it makes sense, you could say, this was so wonderful. Is there an opportunity for me to job shadow, or I could volunteer? Anything like that is just really insightful. Volunteering, by the way, could be any volunteering because you meet great people. And but if it's something related to your career, future career, that's helpful too. Um, and obviously internships and then any related work experience. So a common mistake, I shouldn't say common, but a mistake that graduates make is they'll get a job, let's say, as a server the summer after graduation if they graduate in May. Any work experience is good. Don't get me wrong. It pays the bills, shows responsibility, work ethic, again, transferable skills. But try to find something in your field. Even if it's not at the level you were hoping it would be, it's still going to make you more marketable. Oh, and the one more thing about this, informational interviewing, great opportunity to work that into an interview. When you start landing interviews, and some of the first questions are, why are you interested in this job? How did you become interested in this industry? Why did you choose your major? You can talk about the fact that you had some information. They may not know what informational interviews are, but you had some conversations. You reached out to 3 or 5 or 10 professionals, and you learned a lot, and it solidified your interest and helped you decide which way to go. So that shows energy, enthusiasm, drive. It's very impressive, a great differentiator for you. This slide is important because as you begin or continue with your job search, you have to be very confident in approaching people, having conversations with people, putting that extroverted mask on if you're more of an introvert. And we want you to be comfortable and confident in introducing yourself to others. So practice your personal pitch. And here's the framework to do so. Very simple. Your name, education, work. Now, work means internships, job shadowing, informational interviewing could be mentioned here, research experience, and skills. So what are the skills that you have to offer that employer? And practice this. Pair up with a friend. One of you is the student, one of you is the important professional, and stand up, smile, shoulders back, shake hands, and go through this. Hi, my name is, I'm a senior marketing major at Kutztown University. I have experience in this, this, and this, and some of my strongest skills are in this area. And that is your pitch. And then you could go to questions about them. So practice that. And the more you do it, the more comfortable and confident you become in your 30-second commercial or personal pitch. All right, let's talk about the top 2 strategies for job searching, in addition to what was already covered. Networking. I'm sure you've heard of it. It is still in 2025 the #1 way to find opportunities. Networking is important for many reasons. And by the way, networking is not just help me, help me. Hopefully you're helping one another, helping others when you hear about opportunities and helping to make connections between people. Um, the majority, this statistic says 80% of jobs are actually secured through social and professional networks. 70% of jobs are never publicly posted. That's kind of like a gut punch. Um, I always say employers are busy, they're sometimes lazy. They minimally might put opportunities on their own website, but here in the Career Center, we try to have conversations with them and say, please register and post them on Handshake. And they say, well, they're all up on our website. Yes, but the student has to know your organization or your company to go to your website to find those. So if they don't know who you are, they never heard of you, they're not going to your website. And then they're like, oh, okay, yeah, okay, I get it. I should be posting them on Handshake. They might post opportunities on social media. I might be jumping ahead a little on the slides, but social media, follow companies, good old fashioned Facebook. A lot of companies still have Facebook profiles, Instagram, Twitter, X, then a lot of times you'll see postings or announcements there, sometimes even before their own websites, because it's quicker and easier for them to do that. Their strength and weak ties. So people you don't know well. Don't feel weird reaching out to people you don't know. And this is a really crucial time for you. If you're a senior or just, recent, a brand new alum from KU, there you can leverage that. And people are usually pretty kind and will get back to you, particularly if it's especially if it's a KU alum, a fellow Golden Bear. So don't worry about not knowing people. Just send emails, make phone calls, and things will start to happen. So start with who you know. That's called low-hanging fruit, right? Reach out to the people in your network. And again, they don't have to be close ties. It could be a friend of your aunt or uncle. It could be a neighbor. It could be a former teacher, a former teacher's spouse or partner. You just never know who knows who and how they might be able to help you. Be curious, ask questions, always follow up, and I should add there, and say thank you, and keep in contact with people. I like to say every New Year's, reach out to people, especially your people who are serving as your references, and wish them a happy new year and tell them what's new with you and send them an updated resume. And of course, ask how they are as well. But put the word out. They might know that you go to Kutztown. They may not know your major. They may know your major, but not know what you're interested in. So it's your job. Remember several slides back, I said it's your sales and marketing campaign. It's your job to educate everyone what you're looking for and don't ask, are you hiring? Ask, is there someone you know who has a lot of business contacts? Someone who might be able to help me. Don't think that someone who is not in your industry, your aunt is a regional manager at Target, for example, and you're thinking, how could she help me? I want to go into social work. You just never know who she knows. So here's a list, get you started. Obviously, we are here to assist you. We love a challenge. When students say, "Well, do you know anybody who does this?" We love to dig around and find names and contacts for students. But faculty, advisors, coaches, your friends' parents, and your parents' friends, classmates. If you've already graduated, before you forget who these folks are, reach out to them on LinkedIn. You should be sending messages to connect with people on LinkedIn because then you can see their network. KU alumni, there is an alumni group on LinkedIn. You should be joining that. Take a look out for that. And any other groups on LinkedIn. Follow influencers, join groups on LinkedIn, build your profile. So download, if you haven't already, the Handshake and LinkedIn apps. LinkedIn has a really great job board. But remember what I said earlier. The majority of jobs that exist in the country today aren't posted on these boards. They are filled because smart people like you are doing number two, which is employer research. The most common mistake people make, not just college students, is they wait for the list of jobs. They sit on their computer and go to Indeed and Glassdoor and Zippia and Idealist and Handshake and look and wait for employers to post their opportunities. That's a mistake because, again, the majority of them aren't posting. So your job is to spend time researching who could I work for? Take a look at these three questions. Who are the employers in my field or industry? Who's hiring to do the job I'm interested in? And who specifically works at those companies or organizations? So who are the people? And then what a good strategy for a job search is to create a spreadsheet of your target employers. These are the companies, organizations, schools that I would love to work for. And it's just a few columns, contact name if you have it, an email, a phone number, a website. And then the last two columns I always say should be second to last is a date of when you applied, you saw a posting and you applied, or when you inquired. The majority of your outreach should be inquiring about opportunities. Again, don't wait for them to post and then you apply. And then the last column after the apply or inquire column, the last column is the follow-up, critical. So let's say it's April 1st and you should follow up 2 to 3 weeks later. So in that so April 1st, you're sitting down and you are sending out a bunch of emails to people, HR departments that you got emails for at some different companies or organizations you researched. Follow-up column, so April 1st, then you're going to put April 21st. So 2 to 3 weeks later, you put April 21st in the follow-up column, and then April 21st comes, okay, I need to reach back out. And of course, the minority of job searchers in the country do the follow-up, and you want to be in this minority to make yourself stand out. So you send an email. I reached out a few weeks ago inquiring about an opportunity to be a blank at your organization. Is there someone there that you could put me in touch with, someone there with whom I could speak? Do you have a contact name for me, someone I could reach out to? That follow-up email might be the thing that gets my attention as the employer. I didn't look at your resume before, I'm busy. Boy, this student, this graduate is really interested, really on top of it and driven. Let me take a look at their resume. You just never know what could come from that. So take a look at those two bullets at the bottom. Don't only look at lists of job openings. It's the minority of what's actually available. Approach companies and people to inquire about opportunities. Now, again, where do you find this information? I already mentioned your existing network, the Career Center. We are available to help you after graduation. You can make a career coaching appointment through Handshake. And we can do that remotely. And we can talk about your job search. Professional associations. So you might want to look at their websites because often there are job postings through them and or joining a professional association. It could be a state level like the Pennsylvania Association of or it could be a regional, Mid-Atlantic, or a national association, national or American Association of. They are often different pay scales, but if you join before you graduate, you can get the very reduced student rate. So that's a bonus. And then you get a membership for a year. And you get a newsletter and you find out about webinars and maybe a conference or a drive-in workshop. But also you get to see who else is a member of that professional association, which is often a list of employers for you. Industry and company websites, I encourage you to look at the Major Discovery series that the Career Center has. We have one tip sheet for every major, and that's kutztown.edu/MDS, major discovery series. And on page 3 of that 4-page document is a list of professional associations, related area employers, and then websites specific to that major. Social media, I already talked about that, following companies, organizations, LinkedIn and Handshake. If you can't find a contact's email, they don't have it in LinkedIn, they don't have it on a website. That website, hunter.io, if you have a name and an email, a name and a company, person's name and a company name, you put it in that, it'll say, oh, we're 90% certain that their email is this. So it helps you figure out email addresses. How do you inquire? Just some quick tips. Follow all application instructions. Just pay attention to what they say to submit, what to do. Don't send them more than what they asked for. Call or email if you don't find any openings but are interested in the company. Some organizations allow you to apply even if there are no postings at the moment. And remember, let's say you're interested in an organization, you go to their website, you don't see anything. Remember, don't stop there. We need you to get an email, jump on LinkedIn and find someone who's working at that company and send them a message or an email and inquire about an opportunity. Because again, they may not ever post on their website, or you might beat the rush. They were going to post in a few weeks. Now they get an email from you and others who are reaching out and inquiring. They may not ever need to post because they have some great candidates already apply. And then remember to follow up. Yes, there are great websites, of course. LinkedIn has a good board. Indeed, Zippia, Glassdoor, Simply Hired. Those are some well-known ones. But again, if that's all you're doing, that is not an effective way to job search. But you might find some opportunities there. Going Global has a really great job board. Also cultural and tips and advice for all countries and major US cities. PA Career Link, for example, or any other state. And then government, you might want to look at government opportunities, and there's examples of some really great sites. The other thing to keep in mind, I did mention this already, is a one-on-one career coaching appointment. You would log into Handshake and schedule that. We can talk with you one-on-one about you and your challenges, interests, and how your job search is going, and of course, assist you as much as we can. And every fair or every semester, we have an internship and job fair. And that's, again, another example of one more opportunity to connect with employers to inquire about opportunities. If what you're interested in is not being represented at the fair, there's certain industries that don't go to university fairs. Again, that's just one opportunity. We really encourage you to schedule a career coaching appointment to talk about what you're interested in. And that is it for job search strategies. Hopefully you found that helpful. And again, congrats on being a senior or perhaps a recent graduate of KU. Know that you can make an appointment by logging into Handshake. And if you didn't add a personal email to your Handshake account before your single sign-on went away, just reach out to careerhelp@kutztown.edu, and we will help you to create a alumni account in Handshake, and then you can schedule a career coaching appointment with us. Good luck.